I think we've learned a lot of lessons about supply path optimization in web environments. Header bidding causing a lot of auction duplication, that in turn causing a lot of DSPs to do a lot of filtering on the auctions they're receiving from SSPs, sort of limiting certain bypass from partners, prioritizing bypass from others. And that's always like a very complex ecosystem for marketers to navigate. While sort of header bidding isn't quite as prolific in CTV yet as it is in web, I think we can learn a lot of lessons from what happened in sort of the omnichannel space and apply it to TV. And one thing that we're seeing come up a lot is actually less around auction duplication, but more around ad server priority and sort of the path that you choose to buy the CTV publisher through being super increasingly critically important. So there's massive differences in terms of the CTV ad positions that are being offered across the various DSPs and SSPs as a result of some of the carriage rights that the OEMs and the publishers have with various sort of technology providers, and then also sort of how the platforms then downstream are actually prioritizing those in line. So I think, again, there's a lot of lessons we can learn from what happened in auction duplication and header bidding and CTV, but the conversation shifted a little bit more towards how you can maximize the path that you're buying through to align with the publisher's priority, as opposed to the legacy approach, which was sort of the buy side dictates the priority of the platform or the partner.
So what does MiQ do, and what are you trying to affect in the space?
Yeah, so one thing we're looking at is making value out of data. So looking at supply chain logs that are coming through the programmatic ecosystem and making sure that we're being really critical and scrutinize the upstream places that our partners are buying through so that we're getting as direct to the publisher as possible. So really, again, making use of data and supply chain logs that are coming through our DSPs to kind of score and grade our SSPs to make sure that they're sort of telling the truth around how direct their supply is, and then it matches then what we talk to the publisher about in terms of who they've got prioritized within their ad tech stack. So once we've kind of got learnings from some of the data, we're really applying that then to our deal and our packaging plumbing strategy. So going direct to publishers as well as preferred SSPs and making sure that we're buying through like a really robust library of first-party CTV deals. So the publisher knows it's us buying. I think one pitfall that buyers run into a lot is when they're buying with an off-the-shelf sort of third-party deal library. A lot of publishers can't even recognize who's buying through that. And so you get more priority and more preferential rates if you're actually sort of connecting the dots in between talking to the publisher, the SSP, the DSP, and the buyer all at the same time, and kind of collapsing that conversation into one is critical.
And your business model, your clients are who?
We work with everyone. We work with a lot of holding companies, a lot of independent advertising agencies, as well as clients direct. The challenges that each of those sectors are facing in CTV is a little bit different, which I think gives us an interesting vantage point in the industry to be able to sort of help and shape our ad tech providers respond to their strategy.